Good evening, Johnny Mac here, back in the Diggin Clubhouse, and we got episode 3 here of the Steve Ballance Show. I'm here with Coach, and on this episode we're just going to talk about a wide variety of questions, just about pretty much anything.
How you doing this evening, John?
Doing well. So we'll start off here. I know today is actually the 6-year anniversary of Diggin, so might want to go through just some memories about since you've been here.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride for the first 6 years. Coach Frazier and I have went through a lot of positive growth through the organization. I remember when we started with just the 2 teams, and now we've grown to 11 strong this spring, summer. We're now down as young as 10 years old. We have the college team rolling for 4 or 5 years. It's just been a lot of hard work from a lot of people. You know, it takes a village. There's been a lot of quality people come through. We still have people in the program that have been here since day one. And it's just been great to see, and it's one of these days where you really sit back and you ponder, and Coach and I talked about this morning, and you just look back at everything that the organization's been able to accomplish in 6 years, and it really fills you with a lot of pride.
So with you and Coach Frazier, how did you guys actually meet?
The situation there is a pretty easy story. Coach Frazier has a younger brother, Nick, who played for me when he was about 17, 18 years old. On a team that I had, and Coach Frazier's dad was always, talking about getting us together and meeting, and just thought we were very similar baseball type people and driven by the same things, and it was just as natural as that. And then we met one time, we did a few camps together, and the rest became history. And then Diggin formed probably a couple years after that.
Wow. So kind of like more MLB stuff here.
Okay.
So if you had to pick your top 3 favorite stadiums in MLB, what 3 would they be and why?
Camden Yards #1 for a couple of reasons. 1, I'm from Baltimore. 2, I'm a homer. 3, that's my favorite team. And I just think when they built, when it became official in 1992, the way that Camden Yards was built, you hear all the time, a lot of people have replicated it. It just has a feel. It's just something so special about Camden Yards. It's like kind of like, in my opinion, the oldest of the new stadiums. That would be my #1. I really like PNC Park in Pittsburgh. I'm a Ravens fan by nature. Again, football being Baltimore, so it's tough to root for anything in Pittsburgh. But I really like PNC Park. I just think of a beautiful backdrop, beautiful field surface. My #3 is really hard to say, because you put Wrigley Field there, you put Fenway Park there, Dodger Stadium, and I really like Citi Field in New York. But if I had to be said for #3 for me, it would be Dodger Stadium. Having the opportunity to go out there in my late teens, being a fan of them in the National League, I'd say Dodger Stadium is just a great setting. So much history there. That would probably be how, if I only had to say 3, I'd have to put them 3.
All right, so we also got All-Star Weekend coming up.
Yeah, fun time.
So what are your thoughts on the Home Run Derby, and who do you think's going to succeed there?
It's tough to say. There's a lot of guys that can really put a charge into a baseball. At this exact moment, I'm not exactly sure who's in the Home Run Derby. Could you give me a glimpse of a few of the guys that are in it?
We got Aaron Judge,
Yeah.
Mike Moustakas, Giancarlo Stanton, Gary Sanchez, Bellinger, Justin Bour.
Based on the guys that you're saying to me, I'd have to definitely say Judge or Stanton. You give Stanton the nod because of the home thing. He's going to be feeding off the crowd. I'd probably like to lean towards Judge. It's the hot pick, but as a lot of people in the Diggin community know, preseason I said he was going to hit 30-plus home runs this year, so that's kind of one of those rare moments I get to look like a genius. I know a lot of guys on our team and some of the teams I work with at Diggin have talked about that. I just felt like it was going to be a breakout year. I think I predicted him to hit 30 exactly, so it looks like I'm going to be wrong on that because it looks like he's going to end up hitting more. But I'd probably go with one of those 2. But if I had to say one based on what you just told me, Stanton.
Gotcha. So, and then with the All-Star Game, first time for I think many years, it actually doesn't count for home field in the World Series. What are your thoughts on that?
I see what Major League Baseball is doing by going in both directions. That's one of the few kind of areas I could be on both sides of the fence or whatever about. I think I like what they're doing, but as years have went on and they did a lot with the being for home field advantage, I kind of like that because it means something to the game. But I get the other side of it, of course, where it's like, why should that determine what somebody does in the regular season? So, because they do so many changes in the All-Star Game, what's it matter what I think, right? But I'm totally fine with it going to this back to this route here where it doesn't mean anything, and then seeing how it goes. Because they're always trying to do things with the All-Star game to keep interest. And I think it goes without saying, I'm a baseball guy. I love a lot of other sports. The Major League Baseball All-Star game is by far the best All-Star game. So they can do whatever they kind of want. I mean, it's the only All-Star game I'll watch every year. I mean, I love it.
So if you could build a franchise for any team around one player, not Mike Trout,
You got me, okay.
who would it be?
Yeah, because you know me too well, because I was already going to say Mike Trout. That was a good, easy question. As much as pitching is important, and you say it's got to be a pitcher, I think when you're talking about building a franchise, you think about someone that's young and that is a position player. So if I had to say that and you're taking Mike Trout out of the equation, I probably go with Carlos, the shortstop for the Astros. Correa, excuse me. Jesus, thank you.
All right. So who's your favorite MLB manager right now?
Well, at first I want to back up and say it's very interesting that the guy I'm building around my franchise, I don't even know what his last name is. That's always a plus. My favorite manager to me is Buck Showalter with the Orioles. The manager who I think is the best in Major League Baseball is Mike Scioscia with the Angels.
So I know you're, again, an O's fan. What's been going on with the pitching there as of late?
Yeah, I think you go through ebbs and flows of the season. I think that the rotation is one of, I guess you could say, question marks to start with. Tillman and Gausman kind of haven't pitched up to capabilities. I still personally believe in both of them. You wonder what some of the things is going on possibly with Tillman, but I think Gausman's fine. I think having Bundy there, everybody has different opinions. I'm a big believer of Bundy. I think he'll be fine. I think it's just like typical Orioles is what can you do at the bottom half of the starting rotation, and I still believe in the guys that we have. I'm kind of like Buck and that guy. I like our guys.
So kind of similar to that, the Cubs obviously winning the World Series last year. What's been going on with them too? Just playing around 500 ball, really not doing much.
You see a lot of this after the year that teams win the World Series and then bouncing back and what they call the hangover type effect and whatnot. I think the Cubs are a good team. They have too much talent, too much ability. Be real curious to see what happens at the end. As much as I want to root for the Brewers because of obvious reasons, I just think that they're going to be tough to sustain. I don't know what the exact standings are right now, but I find it hard to believe that Cubs aren't going to play some kind of factor down the line.
Yeah, they only have one All-Star in the game actually, and he's not a returner.
You're really up to date on your MLB stuff. Good for you.
So again, when you go to a game, what's your favorite ballpark food?
Oh, you gotta go hot dog. How do you not go hot dog, right?
That is true.
So I say hot dog. I'm a ketchup, mustard, relish kind of guy. I've never turned down a thing of nachos with cheese. I'll take pretzels with mustard. Nothing like a ballpark lemonade on a Sunday afternoon. We could do a whole segment on that. It's a great question. Thank you.
And
I'm pretty hungry right now.
Are you a gum, seed, or neither kind of guy?
I like both. Coach Frazier and I were talking about this around lunchtime today. We both love a big league chewed grape. You give us some big league chewed grape, we're in a good place. But I say both. If I can say both, I'm saying both.
What's your favorite sunflower seed?
David's barbecue.
Same.
Oh, same. Nice. Cool.
So who was your favorite college baseball player this past year?
This past year, I really liked Walker from LSU, freshman right-handed pitcher. People that know me, I watch a lot of SEC Network. I love watching college baseball in the SEC, and I really was impressed by Walker from LSU to pitch the way that he did this year for them. I would say him.
Okay. And if you were to choose a mascot for Dig In, what would it be?
Oh man, I don't know if I will give any top secret information out here, but we've kind of dabbled just in jokes. The double barrel beavers. It's like a crazy beaver mascot. It's like two arms coming out, double barrel action in the bullpen. So, but yeah, we just how we are. We're not really big into the mascot. A lot of cool things out there. I think a lot of people would easily say all Mets or Gators, with the colors, but really nothing. It's really a question I can't really ask. I would only have to say it in jest like I just did and go with the double barrel beavers.
All right. So this is a question I thought of as a player when I used to play, and you always have your stopwatch on you. What are the main purposes that you use that for?
I do a lot with the stopwatch. Obviously, the main function is to see the catcher's pop time to second base. I use it for the pitcher, the other team, to see how quickly they're getting from, to the catcher, from release point to, catcher receiving the baseball. For our same purposes, catcher on defense, how we're looking at our guys for pop time. Same thing with the catcher, pitcher to catcher. I also look at it to see how fast both teams get in and off the field. You know what I mean? And kind of see their energy level and whatnot. And all kinds of stuff. One of the big things I do from a scouting purposes, when you're looking at players, to when I was a college coach, is how home the first times, sometimes home the second times. If you're getting off the bat, how quickly they get the second. A lot of things I use that stopwatch for. I probably use that stopwatch 100 times a game. You utilize a lot of practice, different things, and those are probably like the top, 10 or 15 things that I would use it for.
So the last question here to close out the episode. Tim Tebow, down in single A, I think now. What are your thoughts on him aspiring his dream to play professional baseball?
I think you've heard me probably talk about this before, like just in, kind of sessions like this, talking around, dugout talk or whatever. He's one of my favorite athletes of all time. I'm all for what he's about. He seems to be a very genuine person, great athlete, great leader, great teammate, good player. Has a religious, overtones with what he talks about. And I just think that he has some of the greatest mental toughness out there, and you know how much I value that. And I'm wishing him the best. I'm pulling for him. I'm super pulling for him. Wherever that takes him is fine. I think I'm all for, realizing your dreams, and if he wants to do baseball, but I'll be his #1 supporter because I just love everything he's about.
All right, well, that's all we have for you. Thanks for joining me, Coach.
Thank you, Johnny. As usual, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Dig In family.